Please welcome Roblox Senior Vice President of Engineering, Nick Turno.
Hello, RDC. It's so great to be back here with all of you. My name is Nick Turno, and I lead our creator and engine groups here at Roblox. And I tell you, all year, every year, this is the event I look forward to the most. And I know what you're thinking, but no, it's not because of the swag. Though the swag is very good. It's because the energy, the collaboration, and the pure creativity in this room is higher than anywhere else on the planet. This is what is happening, and it's this which fuels everything we do at Roblox. So welcome to the Roblox Developer Conference. This is our time to connect, to learn, and to celebrate everything you all have accomplished over the last year. It's going to be an incredible couple of days. Now, we have a lot of exciting announcements to share with you. We're going to geek out a little bit. But before we look forward, I want to take a moment to look back at everything we've accomplished together over the last 12 months. Because what a year it's been. The last 12 months have been a year of explosive growth. And it's been driven by your creativity and your dedication. Let's consider our platform growth. Our global community is more engaged than ever before. And we recently hit a new milestone of 111.8 million daily active users across the platform, which is a growth rate of over 41% year over year. Now, when numbers get this big, sometimes it's helpful to try to put them in perspective by comparing to something else. And I want to call out the most recent Super Bowl had 127 million viewers. So this past quarter, together, we averaged approximately a Super Bowl on Roblox every single day. Yeah. It's incredible. And these users are diving deeper and deeper into your experiences than ever before. Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this. One way to see that is in the last year, we've seen more than 390 billion visits to experiences. Now, this is up 41% year over year. And if you do the math, this represents about 12,000 visits per second, which, as I understand it, is about the rate at which people all over the earth enjoy Coca-Cola beverages. It's also, incidentally, approximately the rate at which Roblox creators ask for emissive map support from our engine. Now, another way to look at this is in the last quarter, players spent a whopping 27.4 billion hours in your experiences. This is a 58% increase year over year. And it represents an average concurrent count of about 12 million users. Now, if you recall earlier from David's opening keynote, this is about where we were at the beginning of the year. This was about the peak Roblox had ever achieved at the beginning of the year. We're actually at about 11 million. So that what was our peak at the beginning of the year is now our average for the last quarter. So users are playing more, they're exploring more, and they're staying longer. Now, all of this is due to your hard work. You've been so productive this last year, keeping content fresh and keeping users engaged. We see this everywhere we look, but just one example is that every day, 26% of the top 1,000 experiences are updated or published. And you've been busy building on each other's work. We see this with the Creator Store. You've inserted more than 1.2 billion models into your experiences, and you've installed more than 500,000 plugins since the last RDC. And I want to give a big shout out to all of our plugin creators out there for accelerating creation across the entire community. Thank you. All right. Now, as the platform expands, so do the earning opportunities for all creators. Earlier, David shared that creators over the last year have earned over $1 billion. Our creator ecosystem includes many hobbyists, and of the millions of creators monetizing on Roblox, over 29,000 are part of our DevX program, with the median creator earning $1,440. But looking a little deeper at those numbers, in the last 12 months, the average revenue for a top 1,000 developer was $980,000, so nearly $1 million. For a top 100 developer, that average was $7 million. And for a top 10 developer, the average was $38.5 million. Now, these numbers sort of speak for themselves, but I want to call particular attention. While we see growth across the board, and you can see the growth numbers up on the screen, we see a growth rate for the top 1,000 of 2.9x over the last 5 years, which is higher than the growth rate of 2.8x for the top 100, and higher than the growth rate of 2.2 for the top 10. This means we're becoming a broader and deeper platform, and this is a trend we plan to continue. Building further on this, we also launched Creator Rewards earlier this summer. And it's early days, but we now have more creators earning for engagement than ever before. And here's just a couple stats. We're seeing an increase of 171% the number of creators earning with Creator Rewards relative to the prior engagement-based payout system. And on top of this, we're seeing of those creators who are earning more than 5 Robux through the EBP program, 73% of them are earning more with the Creator Rewards program. So more creators are earning, and all the creators are also earning more. So this broad-based growth is what we like to see. More and more people are able to build thriving businesses on this platform. Now, underlying this strength are stable experiences, continuing to drive growth. And here's another amazing stat. There are over 160 experiences on Roblox that have reached the 1 billion visits milestone. Now, in this past year, 50 new experiences have joined this exclusive club, which is a growth rate increase of more than 50% relative to the prior year. But here's another thing to be very excited about. Beyond this core strength of stable experiences, which we know and love, this is not a static platform. In fact, it's a platform that is increasingly dynamic, and it increasingly powers breakout hits. If we look just at experiences created in the last year, we see more than 2,000 of them have already hit 5 million visits. We see more than 1,000 of them have already hit 10 million visits. And amazingly, we see that 60 of them have already hit 100 million visits. This is within 1 year of that experience ID being set. So this means there is not a fixed set of leaders on this platform. New entrants have explosive growth potential. There's more experiences bursting onto the scene, but also core strength in established content, which is really the best of both worlds. Now, each time a new hit experience comes onto the platform, Roblox grows. And as the platform grows, this helps everyone else. We know this because the average user on Roblox plays 21 experiences per month. So players new to the platform might join for one experience, but they stay around to play many other experiences, benefiting the community as a whole. You can think of Roblox like a big tent, where each breakthrough experience adds a new tent pole, raising the canopy and inviting more users and creators to come in. And we're just getting started. You heard this morning about our audacious goal to become 10% of the global gaming market. Now, to get there, new tentpole experiences will emerge. New genres will emerge. And new genres push the boundaries of technology and game design, redefining our platform, and breakthroughs ripple across the ecosystem. So let's take a look at how things are going at the genre level. For this next section, I'd like to invite Greg Hartrell, our product lead for creator content, to the stage. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Nick. All right. I think we'll start with talking about shooters as a genre. Shooters hours played are up more than 100% year over year. Top shooters like Rivals and Gunfight Arena deliver the joy of a precision shot to secure the win. But they've done this by building their own server-side hit registration systems. They've optimized their game's performance to perform well on a Roblox game engine and made these games playable on more devices supporting different input types to reach a wider audience.
Now, I love these too, but I feel like I've seen some new ones break through recently as well.
It's absolutely true. So it's worth calling out Weird Gun Game. It subverted this genre in really unique ways, building a part-by-part crafting system where you can assemble almost any kind of weapon. It's a pretty compelling game loop. You build any kind of weapon you want, you jump into a match to test it, and then you get to see if your kind of brand of weird wins.
So I've really wondered, Greg, and maybe you can help me out. Are these weird guns actually effective?
Well, sometimes weirdness is a strategy. I made a gun, for example, when you shot, that made a loud honking sound every time you shot.
A honk. Yeah, so how does that help?
It's actually not very helpful.
Yeah.
Turns out that your enemies know where you are all the time. But when you do this, your opponents know that they're getting killed by somebody with a honking weapon, and that's a psychological victory.
I see. It's very deep. I have many questions, but I think we need to move on.
Okay.
How are some of our more traditional genres doing?
We've got some really impressive growth in simulation, for example, in the last year. The genre evolved with the explosive growth of Grow a Garden and Steal a Brain Rot. They've smashed concurrency records in their own ways, but they've each done some interesting ways of reaching new heights, adding mechanics that encourage and reward compound social expression, and executing on these epic live events such as the admin wars that we saw only a couple weeks ago. And I have to confess, I don't know what Tortugini Dragon Fruttini is, but it makes me hungry.
Don't eat the memes.
Really? Fruit's in the name, Nick. It's edible. Okay, but if we're talking about food, we are talking about another genre. We're talking about survival. And this is where we've seen survival explode, and we saw the gripping and strategic challenges of 99 Nights in the Forest, pushing the genre forward. Very impressive. It innovates by seamlessly innovating with survival crafting, a little bit of tower defense, some open world exploration, and it features procedural map generation and AI pathfinding and behaviors for its NPCs. Not to mention the struggle with a demonic deer with boundary issues.
Yeah, I know all about deer struggles. We have one that comes into our yard and eats our flowers. Then it goes to our window and just kind of stares at us.
That sounds kind of terrifying, Nick. Maybe the deer's looking at its reflection?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the psychological victory thing you were just talking about.
We got to fear the deer, Nick. Fear the deer.
All right. Let's shift our focus to our roadmap. Our partnership with you all is built on trust, and trust is built on transparency.
Right now, we're going to do a live retrospective of our creator roadmap. We need to look at what we said we would do and what we actually did. We're here today to hold ourselves to account.
So we launched our creator roadmap in 2023, and we update it every quarter to give you visibility and build confidence that we're doing the right things for everyone in this community. And since our last RDC, we've shipped more than 102 items on our roadmap, but the details are an important part of showing what kind of job we're doing. So let's take a look. Here's our report card, wins and misses all together. While it's great to get 102 items out to the community, let's focus on a couple of stats.
First, let's look at our on-time delivery rate, which is 53% in this last year. That's down from 59% the year prior. The on-time delivery rate was impacted. We had a strategic shift in mid-year into what we call engineering excellence. This is higher quality, more stable code everywhere. This focus did yield critical wins for us. We now sit on significant increases in studio stability, and of course, the record-breaking platform concurrency we've all seen. But this quality bar does mean that we've had to delay releases. An example of this was last week's GLTF export, where we needed to spend more time making it more reliable, ensuring a compatibility with a lot of our backend systems, and we just firmly believe that this is our way going forward. Prioritizing stability is one of the best ways we think we can respect this community.
Yeah, another observation, it looks like we delayed about 31% of the items on our roadmap versus 25% last year.
Yeah, that's right. And look, we just have to apologize for that. There's an enormous number of opportunities everywhere, and new things, as you can imagine, are emerging as we grow. And that said, this coming year, we really need to focus on doing fewer things with higher consistency, and we're always going to prefer to deliver higher quality features instead of rushing them and giving you all transparency along the way.
So that's right. We're going to keep iterating. Please continue to provide feedback on what you see us doing and what you see us not doing, and we'll continuously work to improve. All right. That's enough review. Let's get on to the good stuff, starting with our vision, to enable the creation of anything, anywhere, by anyone. We're well on our way, and our strategy forward rests on 4 pillars. Number 1, we're committed to providing a stable, high-performance, universally accessible foundation for all of our creators and our users. Number 2, creator productivity. We're enhancing your efficiency with superior tools for avatars, animation, seamless iteration, and asset management. Number 3, we're going to provide you with better tools and insights to grow. We're giving you data and AI-powered tools to make more informed decisions, iterate effectively in production, and reach a global audience. And number 4, a powerful engine. We have an amazing engine, and we are evolving it to support more complex and expressive content at a massive scale, unlocking the next generation of experiences. Together, these pillars will make this platform, which is already the most powerful and flexible platform to create on, even better. And we have tons of great updates on each one. I'm excited to show you what we're building, starting with inviting up Josh Anand and Taylor Russ to talk about our rock-solid platform.
Hi, I'm Josh Anand, a product manager on the Engine team.
And I'm Taylor, an engineering lead on the Engine team.
One of Roblox's unique value propositions is that you write your experience once, and we make sure it runs well on millions of devices worldwide, from high-end gaming PCs to low-end budget phones. This lets you spend your time creating instead of thinking about things like GPU drivers. Now, there's a lot that goes into delivering this. Let's look at how we're doing. First, stability. Stability means not crashing. Our goal is to never crash. In the past year, we have significantly improved our stability. We're seeing a 66% improvement in playtime per crash for iOS users. Android users have seen a 26% improvement. One of the key ways we're doing this is by continuing to invest in how we manage memory. In the past year, we've built an entirely new memory management system internally that's rolled out almost everywhere globally. Now, what's extra impressive is that this system takes experiences that used to be unplayable and crash immediately on low-end devices, and it makes them very stable and playable, like you see in this video. On Android alone, based on some of our early testing, we think the system could deliver an additional 356 million hours of annualized playtime. That's a pretty big deal, and you all get it transparently for free. Stability doesn't just matter when you're playing, it matters when you're building. We've been spending a lot of time working on studio stability as well. Since last year, we've improved studio hours per failure by 90%. Hopefully some of you noticed the difference. Good, a couple of you.
Stability goes hand in hand with raw performance, and we're seeing great strides here too. Our goal is to build systems where you fall into a pit of success, and we take care of performance for you, ensuring your content runs fast everywhere. We're seeing some incredible improvements with our cloud-based LOD system that Dave talked about during the keynote. And we'll go into more detail when we discuss the future of the engine. But we wanted to highlight 2 other improvements to share with you all. We continue to comb through our code and work on perf and push on it wherever we can. As we worked on the new LOD system, we found that mesh loading was capped per frame. We uncapped it. We saw crazy gains in performance, especially on higher-end machines. In many experiences, we saw load times cut in half or more. You all received the improvement automatically without having to republish. Performance isn't just about the client. We pay close attention to our server frame rate as well. And we call this heartbeat. We target ensuring that our servers run at 60 hertz globally. Late last year, we started looking closely at the deep internals of how our engine interacts with the Linux kernel that the server runs with. We found an opportunity with virtual memory to physical memory mapping to use something called transparent huge pages, and that improves that mapping efficiency. We deployed THP over the course of a month, and it had a huge impact. You can see the impact in this chart, where in one day, we went from a P05 heartbeat below 45 to regularly above 50. And for our P05 users, we're not consistently hitting 60 hertz yet. We still have work to do, but this is big progress. And of course, this all happened transparently. You did nothing, Roblox got faster, and all your experiences benefited.
Next up, platform reliability. On Roblox, we take care of the server stuff for you. This year, as we've broken industry records, we've had teams working harder than ever to make sure our servers are reliable and that you can focus on growing record-setting content, not managing services. Since last year, we've continued to improve the uptime of Roblox itself. Our uptime was 99.972%. Our improvements saved over 12 million engagement hours. We'll keep pushing to 4 nines and then 5 nines. So, we operate data centers around the world, including our new Brazil data center. And internally, we forecast growth and supply and demand and make sure we can deliver enough compute. But recently, we've seen record concurrent users, which required more compute power than we had in our entire global grid. I call this our holy moly chart. We actually had a weekend earlier this year where we ran out of compute for a few minutes. Rather than throwing up an error saying Roblox is full and stopping people from playing, we worked around the clock so that within a few weeks, we could use third-party cloud services to run our servers too, so that we wouldn't run out of capacity again. From your perspective, things just work invisibly. Roblox could handle record-setting demand no problem. A few weeks ago, we had over 45 million concurrent players, which this investment let us handle. I don't think anybody else could do that. It's pretty cool. That's for our infrastructure team.
Finally, let's talk about friction. And let's start with everyone's favorite source of friction, bugs. We've made addressing your dev forum issues a company-wide priority. Since January, we've closed more than 4,100 bugs, which is about twice as many as we had closed last year by this time. And there's still 3 months left in the year. A major source of friction for players isn't just bugs, though. It's cheating. People who cheat make playing together less fun. We are making it our mission to end cheating on Roblox. A few years ago, we took a step forward in Windows with Hyperion anti-cheat technology, and we're continuing to improve that technology. This year, we're focused on Android as well. But we've also made a major change in how we handle cheating on the platform. Historically, whenever we detected a cheater, we'd make a note and run a periodic manual ban wave. Now, we have an automated system that runs 24/7 so that if we detect cheating, you'll automatically receive progressive consequences going from a warning all the way to a permanent ban. Our goal is to reform people and get them playing fairly, which is why we have these progressive actions. Hopefully everyone here has only felt the benefits and not experienced any of those consequences. Since April, we've seen an 84% reduction in playtime exposure to cheaters thanks to this system. We'll continue to invest in securing Roblox by both securing Roblox itself and by giving you tools like server authority. Come to the competitive games breakout talk tomorrow. We're proud of results that we've achieved this year, and we hope that you appreciate them. And we look forward to sharing more with you next year. We're going to hand it off to Oren and Eric next to talk to you about creator productivity.
Hi, I'm Eric Yip, engineering lead for Roblox Studio, and today we're thrilled to share with you our latest update to boost your productivity.
And hi, I'm Oren Jacob, engineering lead for Avatar. We're powering up you across 4 areas in our talk today, cutting out busy work so you can innovate faster, and helping you scale your team's impact. Let's start with avatars and animation. To improve the quality of avatars with Avatar Auto Setup, back in March, we were running at about a 47% success rate. Today, that's at 90%. This lets you focus on creative intent and bringing your models to life. And you can leave things like rigging, skinning, caging for layered clothing, and partitioning for R15, attach points for accessories, and other stuff to us. Let's roll the video. On the creator side, on the creative side here is a builder in Blender. You're focusing on your vision. Unique model with custom pants and shirts and hair and shoes. Avatar Auto Setup then takes over. The heavy lifting is done in the background, and the complex conversion process is effortless. And there you have it. As you cycle through the results, you can preview them immediately, a full Roblox-ready avatar. So come by the studio booth to check out the latest and see Avatar Auto Setup for yourself. Now let's take a look at animation. We're making big strides in avatar animation technology today, introducing the adaptive animation format. This supports retargeting of animations across all types of humanoid rigs, from R6 to R15 to complex custom bone-based characters across the board. You can author and preserve contact-rich interactions across scenes and across characters. With the adaptive animation format, animations can be created once, and they'll run on all avatars that Roblox supports today and that Roblox will support tomorrow. Yeah, there we go. Today, animation blending is rather limited. It takes about 1,000 lines of Lua scripting and a Lua scripter to make it all work. Let's roll the video. Soon, we'll be releasing the animation graph editor, an API, and studio tooling that will enable next-level character animation quality and scripting, making scripting optional to deliver on that. So studio tooling will support both visual compositing and debugging of composed animations as well. Yeah. There we go. This will allow all animators to create rich, lifelike animations with no code.
All right, let's jump into how Studio is going to work better with your favorite tools. We know many of you prefer your own code editors. This is why last year we released an early preview of script sync, and now we're rolling out another update, folder level syncing. Let's see this in action. Select the data model location that you want to sync from, then a folder that you want to sync it to. And just like that, you can manage your entire code base from your favorite editor, create, rename, and delete scripts, all with Studio perfectly in sync.
Yeah.
All right. We're excited for this one. So this is coming soon in beta, and it's going to be GA by the end of this year. All right, we also know that when you're working with tools like Blender, you often need to move your 3D models out of Studio. And historically, you use OBJ for that. But it's limited, right? Single meshes, basic texture, you're looking for more. This is why we've launched GLTF exports for the assets that you have permissions for. Now on the left, the avatar is showing multiple meshes, proper rigging, and skinning intact. And on the right, 2 helmets. The OBJ looks flat, while the GLTF version shows the full PVR details with the look that you intended. This is already launched, so give it a shot. And you can always come by the studio booths to give us any feedback. Now that you've exported it, getting those models back into Studio should be easy. This is why we're introducing Model Re-import in Studio. So I know the name speaks for itself, but you know what? Let's have a demo. We had a house that we imported from Blender, but we want to add some rocks to it. Now, the Re-import in Studio is just 1 click, no dialogues. All right? We're going to tweak some of these rock colors. And you know, just for fun, we're going to attach this boat. Back in Blender, we're going to update this wooden dock a little bit. And now I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut for the re-import. And look, everything's intact, including that boat. The magic here is that the re-import is non-destructive, meaning your properties and constraints stay intact, keeping you in the creative flow. This is coming soon as a beta, but you can also come by the booth to check it out today.
All right. Let's get into how to improve and organize your data at scale. More creators are using more assets this year. 50% of top creators by time spent have more than 2,300 assets, and the top 5 have more than 30,000 assets each, double what we had last year. To help you manage your assets at scale, we launched our beta for our revamped Asset Manager, so you can easily find your assets with powerful search, sort, and filtering. You can search all your assets in your users and groups accounts with partial or exact matches. You can also find your models by searching using descriptive words as well. Next, to help you organize your assets, we'll be launching user-created folders next year. Now, over the past year, we rolled out several improvements to asset privacy and our sharing system. Let's go to the video. You can now share models, images, meshes, and even animations with your connections and your groups. Next, by the end of the year, we're also launching a beta enabling you to make your newly created meshes and images private, helping you control the usage of your assets and prevent asset leaks. Not that that's ever happened to us. Awkward. We also heard your feedback that you need better tools to manage different versions of your work. This is why we're revamping the place version history view in Studio. You'll soon be able to mark specific milestones in place version history as you iterate over place versions and be able to easily find and navigate across them. Let's look at the video. So you can leave a note on a version so that you can document important details for yourself or your team. You can check out who in your team contributed to changes made in each version. And if you need to find a specific version, you can easily search by contributor, text, or date, or filter for published or manually saved versions. There we go. These improvements are all coming by the end of the year. And speaking of versioning, we also know that a lack of versioning for assets slows down your iterative workflow and causes too much inventory clutter. So next year, we'll be extending versioning to meshes and images and improving version control for animations as well. Your player data is crucial, and this past year we launched the Data Stores Manager, a powerful solution for your game tester, ops, and community management teams and members to view and understand exactly how your player data is being stored. So let's go straight to the demo. Say you launched a coin collecting minigame, and you want to see if your game is properly saving your players' coin count. Your game tester can open up the Data Stores Manager, validate the proper data structure, search for themselves, and then play the game and monitor in real time how their player data is being updated. After your game is launched, your ops members can keep track of how large your data store has grown across how many data stores themselves and how many keys. And when your players come to your community manager with issues, perhaps data corruption that led to players losing all their coins, your community manager can easily search for that player, verify their history with versions, and proceed to rectify the scenario right there. In the near future, thank you, all right, yep. In the near future, we'll be adding deletion workflows as well as many other capabilities. You can come to the Cloud Services booth to chat with the team and learn more about that right after this event.
All right, let's talk about collaboration with your teammate and even with AI on your side. Whether you're working solo or on a team, fast feedback moves projects forward. With comments in Studio, you can collaborate directly in your workspace. Let's see it in action. For instance, pin an object like this car and leave a comment. Have a task for a friend, tag them directly. Then quickly filter. When you're done, resolve comments and capture your decisions. This is live today, but we're just getting started. Soon we're going to be adding support for deep linking, so you can get to those comments even faster. Now, we also know that as your team grows, control becomes critical. This means a need for safer permission and more oversight. So we're enhancing creator groups. On the left, we've added experience-level permission, so you can grant access to one experience and not your entire portfolio. And on the other side, we've also enhanced the activity tracker for you to audit actions in real time. And coming soon, we're adding support for even more events, like revenue payout, to help your team scale even faster. We've also been hard at work with Assistant, and today is a big leap. Assistant will soon speak MCP. This is the protocol that lets your tools talk to one another. Let's see a demo with Figma. On the left side is a leaderboard that we drew in Figma, and on the right side, Studio is connected to the Figma Dev Mode MCP server. And I've just asked Assistant to import this leaderboard into my place. And there it is, fully built with a working scroll bar. But the magic with Assistant is an iteration, so let's spice it up with some emoji icons. See what happens. And there you go. So I want to say that Figma is just one example. Soon, Assistant MCP will connect with the entire ecosystem of MCP servers. So this is coming soon as a beta, but I invite you all to come by the Studio booth today to check this out. And so thank you very much. Next up, I would like to hand it off to Peter Yang and Kyle Spence for tools and insight.
All right, hey everyone, I'm Peter, and I'm a product manager at Creator Success.
And I'm Kyle, an engineering manager on Creator Services.
And today, we're excited to show you all the amazing tools and insights we're building to help all of you grow your games faster. So let's start with analytics. We've been shipping nonstop this year, including retention cohorts, insights, external link tracking, and even avatar analytics. And today, I'm proud to share that over 93% of our top 1,000 creators are using analytics every month to make better decisions.
And for the 7% of you that aren't using it, give it a try and let Peter know if there's anything that you can improve.
Thanks, Kyle. There's always room for improvement. Now, one of the areas that we're really improving is insights to help you separate the signal from the noise with your metrics. And recently, we shipped new insight reports that highlight the most important metrics and actions for you to focus on.
We've also updated these reports with player feedback summaries to give you real-time feedback on what players love and want improved about your game.
And we believe that this combination of metrics and player feedback will give you a more complete picture of the right actions to take to grow your game faster. Now, picture this, Kyle. We just launched a new game, and I gotta admit, man, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I really want to get metrics and player feedback, but I'm worried that our retention KPIs might not be good enough for the discovery algorithm.
Well, Peter, I'm actually not nervous at all. And that's because we're working to launch experience betas later this year to let all of you test and improve your game before it reaches a wider audience. In beta, you control who can play your game. You might share it on social or in your community, or you might run sponsored ads to reach a targeted audience. So Peter, let's focus on improving our game's retention before opening it up for search and discovery.
That sounds like a good plan. And speaking of retention, one of the most powerful ways to engage our players is to use events. And this summer, we added new APIs to let you invite players to your events from inside the experience. And overall, we're just seeing a lot of excitement and many of you using events to build excitement for your games. In fact, every month, we see 4.6 billion event RSVPs on the platform. All right, Kyle. Now I'm really excited about this next feature. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. I'm sure many of you have felt this pain. You just shipped a new update in your game, and all of a sudden you start seeing error rates spike and players complaining about issues. Today, your only option to fix this problem is to rush to deploy a new update, and that means kicking all of your players and restarting all of your game servers. With configs, you can wrap every update in a config flag. You now have an on-off switch that will let you disable the new content or feature without having to redeploy or restart your servers.
But that's not all. You can also use configs to update in-game values in real time. I'm not sure if Brad from Adopt Me is in the audience, but for example, let's say Adopt Me wants to update their starter pack. This cracked egg isn't really all that it's cracked up to be. And this royal egg is way more impressive and posh, right? So if I want to update my starter pack, all I have to do is wrap it in a starter pack config. So configs are coming later this year, but I'm even more excited about this next feature.
We're also excited to announce experimentation, or A/B testing, to let you test new features in your game as well as your matchmaking configuration. Experiments let you measure with confidence whether that change you made actually improved your metrics. So let's say you want to test a new onboarding dungeon to see if it'll improve retention. You can run an experiment that shows half of your users the new dungeon while the other half get your current one. A few weeks later, you see that users who received the new onboarding dungeon had over 37% increase in D1 retention. Peter, what do you say? Should we ship this?
Well, Kyle, nothing makes product managers happier than seeing that statistically significant lift. And the only thing that will make me happier is launching configs and experimentation to all of you later this year. So be sure to join our analytics session tomorrow, where we're going to have real top studios walk through real examples of using analytics and experimentation to grow their games.
Earlier today, Jarrett spoke about some of the impressive growth we're seeing globally in every region. So let's talk about one of the biggest opportunities in growing your games. The international market continues to expand. Just last year, we launched chat translation, and since then, we've done over 400 billion translations. There are 11 billion translations from the content on the platform, and we've expanded to supporting 17 languages for automatic translation with our newest edition, Arabic, this year. And using our translation and localization features is a no-brainer to reach Roblox's global audience. In fact, in a recent test, we saw that games that had auto translations on saw an average of almost 1% increase in playtime, with over a 4% increase from Chinese, Japanese, and Korean-speaking players who joined the game for the first time. Now, you might think that 1% is a small number, but compounded over weeks and months, that could lead to huge playtime lift for your game. So don't miss this opportunity to make your games accessible to a global audience. And if you have manual translations already, don't worry, we will always prioritize those over your auto translations. In Dave's keynote, you saw a live demo showing Dave and Karun interacting with an NPC. Let's dig into the details and show you how you can leverage the new audio, voice, and natural language features in your experiences. First, let's set up an NPC who can dynamically speak audio with the new text-to-speech system. First, we set up audio emitter and audio text-to-speech instances, and then wire them together. Then we choose a voice and set some text to play as speech. There are a bunch of parameters we can play with. Let's mess with the voice and pitch.
Hello there.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
I don't know, Kyle. I think that robot's a little bit too high-pitched, man. I think you got to make it sound more robotic.
You know what? We can. Let's make this a more robotic-sounding voice. Let's just add a sound modifier and chain that to our text-to-speech and audio emitter. This all uses the existing audio APIs, so you can create the exact voice that you want.
Hello there.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
But how can I talk to this robot as a player?
Yeah, good idea. Let's also set up using player voice so we can interact with the NPC using the new speech-to-text system. We can add audio device input and audio text-to-speech instances and wire them together. Let's also add a script that listens to the text change property and add a function to make the robot jump. Using what we made, we can command our robot to jump. Super cool. But he still jumps when we tell him not to. Let's fix this. And while we're at it, let's give the robot a personality so we can more naturally talk to and command it around, leveraging the text generation APIs. So using the text generation API and some smart prompting, we can make our NPC feel more alive. Let's name it the BuilderBot 5000 and tell it about the apocalyptic world it's in. So Peter, when you ask our robot what his name is,
Hello, I'm BuilderBot 5000. How can I assist you today?
it's pretty cool. Yeah. OK, let's finally hook up our bot to smartly respond to us and handle voice commands. With some more prompting, now the NPC will try to correctly follow the commands based on anything we say. So now, he jumps when I tell him to jump, and he doesn't when I tell him not to.
No need to jump. Let's just hang out.
OK, but we were talking about translations earlier. So what if I don't speak any English? I only speak German. Can a robot still understand me?
Yeah, sure, we can make this work. I'm sure your users speak many different languages. To quickly show this in action, let's just add a command to our NPC so it can translate what we can say. We can do this by using the real-time translation Open Cloud API. You just call out the language that your player is in and what language you want the content translated to. So now when we ask our NPC how to say, hello, how are you in German?
The translation for hello, how are you, in German is Hallo, wie geht es dir?
Close enough. I can ask it questions, give it natural language commands, and the NPC is able to do it all. We're excited to see everything you all build with these new features. Text-to-speech is launching soon with the increased limits that you've been asking for. And if you want to use it even more, you'll be able to pay for extended access later this year. Finally, next year, we will launch the ability for you all to create and bring your own voices so you can use that dynamic speech generation the exact way that you want.
Our speech-to-text beta is also launching later this year. And of course, our text generation API is available. And we're always working to improve it to make it more safe and reliable across all content maturity experiences. OK, so that's it for us today. And now I'd like to welcome Varun and George to talk about our powerful engine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Hey, everyone. I'm Varun, and I work on product in Engine.
And I'm George. I'm an engineering lead in Engine, and we're here to give you a quick update on everything we've been working on.
Both Dave and Nick touched on our audacious goal, getting to 10% of the gaming market. The only way we get there is by giving you complete freedom to bring your vision to life.
That's right. Whether it's blocky, photoreal, or something in between, we want to make it all possible. Our job is to make sure you can achieve whatever you'd like.
If we break down what goes into making a great experience, it's about enabling you to build great content, allowing for expressive avatars so your players can viscerally engage with your content, and finally, powerful engine capabilities that bring both of these together.
As we dive into each of these pillars, keep in mind that the Roblox engine makes some promises to both players and creators. These 5 promises place unique constraints on the engine, requiring innovative solutions even for the simplest of features.
With that, let's dive into our first pillar, giving you the freedom to build great content on Roblox. We're going to start off with individual assets. Now, as Dave mentioned this morning, we are completely revamping how assets are both prepared and rendered on Roblox. Let's start with how we prepare your assets after you upload them.
Meshes and textures are the majority of all the assets you upload. Every day, you collectively upload 1.2 million new meshes and 1.6 million new images on average. Once you've uploaded all those assets, we process them into multiple optimized formats at different levels of detail, perfect for each player's device.
OK, George, let's play a quick game. Let me ask you a question. This is an example of an optimized mesh that we generate today. Can you tell me what this is?
It's a chair, Varun. We covered it in rehearsal.
That's fair. But wouldn't it be great if this actually looked like a chair, though? This optimization used to happen exactly once in Studio, when you first uploaded the asset, which means we had no way of improving it after the fact.
We've been working on upgrading this entire pipeline so we can continuously improve and optimize these asset representations. These are some of the new results we've been getting with our new improved simplification algorithm.
So now your chairs will actually look like chairs at multiple levels of detail.
Finally, George. OK, now let's focus on how we render your assets on players' devices. This time, let's use textures as an example. Harmony is carefully coordinating things, so your players are always getting the best quality experience that their device can support. The colors you're seeing on screen here represent different texture resolutions that are loaded into memory. Now, on the left, you can see that previously the system is naively loading up every single texture representation at the highest quality, even if the GPU might never even need it. And on the right, you can see Harmony is now smartly streaming in exactly the texture representations that it needs. Now, more importantly, it can also stream out the representations it doesn't need. And in the middle, you'll notice that all of this is imperceptible to the player, because Harmony is smartly making these decisions based on the importance of each object in your scene.
When the engine uses texture memory more carefully, that means your player gets higher quality exactly where it matters, and you have much more headroom to achieve your creative vision. More importantly, this also eliminates massive memory strikes that usually occur when a game first launches. This is one of the leading causes of crashes on lower-end devices. This is a complex scene from Relived, one of my favorite showcase experiences on Roblox. Without Harmony, this scene requires loading roughly 3 times more texture memory than with Harmony.
This new asset pipeline is launching later this year for both meshes and textures, so keep an eye out for announcements in the dev forum.
But wait, that's not all. All this effort to scale down on low-end devices also means that we can scale up on devices that can handle it. So we're very excited to announce that 4K texture rendering is coming to Roblox later this year.
That's a big one, George. That's a big one. OK, now, if you just had incredible mesh assets, and even with 4K textures, you still would not have a very compelling experience, like this one over here. Great content is not just about individual assets. You also need the freedom to build more detailed and expansive worlds for those assets to really shine. Let's take a look at some of the areas we've been investing in here to get even more freedom.
First, occlusion culling. Last year, we rolled out automatic occlusion culling, so the engine wouldn't waste resources rendering things that you can't even see. For the next iteration, we're expanding the system so it can support terrain, avatars, particles, and everything else that might be in your scene.
Now, speaking of terrain, today our terrain system is still capped in 2 key ways: scalability and quality. On the scalability front, the largest terrain you can fit in an experience on Roblox today is about 4 kilometers, or about 16,000 studs on each side. Our eventual goal is to remove that cap. But first, we have to optimize how terrain is stored and represented in the engine. With some of the improvements in the pipeline, we have already been able to push things to 16 kilometers on each side. That's an area more than twice the size of San Francisco running inside Roblox.
Cool. And also, as you can see here, on the quality front, we're also improving things. Materials and lighting on terrain are much higher quality, and fine details and shapes on your terrain are more accurately represented. Now, even with more scalable and higher quality terrain, you still need a way to populate these worlds with a lot more detail.
To help with that, we introduced instant streaming a few years ago. This allowed devices to dynamically stream in and out parts of your world as necessary. Now, we've seen steady adoption of instant streaming, but there were still a few pain points that we needed to address.
Yeah, we heard from you that instant streaming did not work well for your experiences all the time because the radius always followed the player. With the recently announced multiple foci streaming, you can now pre-warm locations for scenarios like binoculars or when you needed to teleport players to different locations.
Next, while streaming unlocked the ability to showcase massive worlds, it was still miserably hard to author large worlds and test things out in Studio. Here you can see an early preview of instant streaming now enabled in Studio. I can be fully productive in one part of the place without having to load up the entire map. And as I move through the place, I can see the instances stream in and out in the Explorer, as well as around me, allowing me to quickly jump back in and make an edit whenever or wherever I might need to be. This is the same map that Dave showed you this morning. Without this internal build of instant streaming working inside Studio, it would have been nearly impossible to build that demo.
Finally, instant streaming always traded off visual fidelity for performance, for objects that were streamed out. To address this morning we introduced Slim. With Slim, we will now automatically generate a lightweight but high-quality representation of each model that's streamed out, perfect for low-end devices. Let's break down how this works using the same demo that Dave showed us earlier this morning.
OK, so on the left is the original content as authored. A low-end Android device would immediately crash if it tried to render all of these triangles and instances at once. On the right, you can see the effect Slim has. Now, the device only needs to render a fraction of the triangles that were originally authored. But the user gets exactly what the creator intended at the highest quality that their device can support.
Yeah, if you've tried instant streaming, you might already be aware of Model's LOD's limitations when it comes to visual fidelity. Here's a quick comparison of the same demo running with both Model LOD and with Slim. For the same scene, Slim gives you much better visual quality for the comparable performance.
I love that scene.
We're excited to announce that Model LOD will be replaced by Slim later this year. Our vision is to also bring Slim to Studio so we can improve your creation workflows as well. And you can sign up for early access preview of Slim today at the Engine booth or on the Dev Forum online.
OK, now let's move on to the second pillar, expressive avatars. As Dave shared earlier today, we are pushing the boundaries of what avatars will look like and how personalized they can be on Roblox. Just like all other content, we want to give everyone on the platform complete freedom to express themselves. We expect to add increasing avatar complexity in the future, up to and even exceeding the quality that you're seeing here. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Done naively, this would come with an unacceptable resource tax on you, the creator. The more complexity we add and the more avatars join your experiences at once, it's going to be harder for you to express your vision. Instead, we need to ensure that avatars scale like everything else on the platform, adding negligible and predictable cost to your experiences. To get to this goal, we're investing in 3 areas.
First, all the asset streaming efforts we talked about previously will support skinned avatar meshes and textures as well. Let's take a look at the difference texture streaming can make on an avatar. Here, we're going to simulate downloading all of this avatar's textures on a low bandwidth 128K connection. On the left, we have current behavior. And on the right, we have asset streaming enabled. Ready? This is going to go fast.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
OK, with texture streaming, avatars are visible much faster and use less bandwidth. Players can feel like themselves almost immediately. And over time, the textures get crisper if their device can support it.
I think the other one just finished. Next. Oh, thank you. Next, avatars in the distance will also be converted into the same lightweight composite models that we showed you earlier. But these slim models will also support animations.
Very cool. Finally, we're targeting specific use cases where avatars cause resource spikes when they have layered clothing on. Here you can see a test environment with 420 avatars trying to equip a tool at the same time. This causes a resource spike, which in turn causes the tools to take a long time to equip.
That's no good.
No. So let's take a look at the same scene again with some of the improvements we're working on. Ready?
Again, 3, 2, 1.
No, there you go.
There we go.
So now the avatars have their tools equipped much faster. We're launching these improvements later this year.
OK, moving on to personalization now. Technologies like layered clothing, dynamic heads, accessories, and in-experience creation have all unlocked brand new ways for players to express themselves in Roblox. But we're continuing to push the boundaries here as well. We recently announced UGC emotes, so you can now create, publish, and list emotes in the avatar marketplace.
We also recently launched support for physically based rendering for accessories. We had to be careful to make sure that these higher quality accessories worked well across all devices and experiences.
And soon we'll be expanding in-experience avatar creation to also include clothing and accessories. This means you can now allow players to customize these right within your experience. And when they're done, they can purchase and equip the item right there, and then use them all across Roblox.
OK, now let's switch gears a bit and talk about engine capabilities. These are some of the new capabilities that unlock whole new functionality and give your experiences superpowers.
In May, we announced that acoustic simulation is available in Studio Beta. When enabled, sounds reflect, bend around corners, and are occluded by the environment. Let's have a listen. When I'm inside the room, I can hear the sound reverberate off of the stone walls. And as I slowly walk outside, the sound diffracts around the corner and comes from the left instead. As I move behind the building, the sounds become muffled, just as you'd expect. Acoustic simulation will be available for live experiences by the end of the year. And we'll also be adding support for sound instances, so it works with all of your existing content. That's awesome. Make sure you visit the Creating Immersive Audio workshop during lunch tomorrow to learn more.
Now let's talk about physics. Last year, we launched aerodynamic forces in Engine, so you can take advantage of a whole new class of forces across your experiences. This year, we completely revamping how aerodynamics work, so parts can react realistically to buoyancy, lift, and drag forces, just like this hydrofoil. And yes, these propellers are really simulated.
All of the work that we put into realistically simulating fluid forces for aerodynamics last year will now be available for water this year. OK, let's talk about server authority now. One of the most difficult multiplayer experiences to build are competitive sports games. Due to the realities of network latency and bandwidth constraints, a hamster ball soccer game like this one is incredibly difficult to get right on any platform. We're working hard to enable server authority natively in Roblox. So a whole new genre of seriously competitive games like this one will soon become possible.
Yeah. Instead of each player's device deciding what happened, each client makes predictions, but only the server makes the final call. If you've tried racing game before, you might be familiar with the pit maneuver, which is notoriously difficult to achieve well in a multiplayer game. This is what usually happens.
Oh, that's no good, George.
I know.
I think we can do better than that.
So once server authority launches on Roblox, you'll soon be able to get this. There it goes.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's the pit maneuver.
Much cooler. Yeah. Competitive social games like shooters, racing games, and sports are such a good fit for the Roblox ecosystem that we can't wait to get this into your hands. So starting today, you can sign up for Server Authority Early Access Preview by visiting the dev forum or seeing us at the Engine booth. You should also stop by the Creator Track Talk tomorrow to learn more about it.
OK, finally, let's talk about solid modeling. Over the last year, we've made a whole host of performance and scalability improvements to the inexperienced solid modeling APIs, like union, intersect, and subtract. This has enabled brand new emergent possibilities, like this car workshop, where you can literally create your own tires from scratch using traditional manufacturing techniques. This was previously limited to primitive parts, but we've been working on adding support for meshes this year.
Yeah.
This means that you will soon be able to perform the same operations on fully textured meshes like the container and the gnome. And we're not stopping there. We're adding new APIs like fracture and sweep to help with some common scenarios that you always want. All of this is also available in an early access preview, just like Slim and Server Authority to date. So make sure you stop by the Engine booth or visit the dev forum post to sign up.
We touched on a lot today. Asset streaming, Slim, and terrain improvements to unlock the content you build, avatar performance and personalizations to unlock more expressive avatars, and server authority, hydrodynamics, solid modeling, and even acoustic simulation to unlock more gaming possibilities. What would you build with all this cool new tech, Varun?
George, the world is my oyster now. I'd want to build something like a competitive hydroplane game with destruction that actually affects the aerodynamics, all set in a vast and detailed open world. Oh, and everything with 4K textures, obviously.
OK, well, I can't wait to play that. That's all the time we have today. Varun and I are so excited to meet all of you at the booths and at the other events.
But wait, we have one more little surprise for you before we pass it back to Nick. It's in a video.
Have a great RDC.
Wow, that was super cool. So now you've seen three things. One, you've seen how all these pillars come together. Two, you've seen that I may have been one of the people asking for emissive maps. And now that I'll be able to get my fix on Roblox, I think I can take this thing off awkwardly. And number three, you've seen how this platform is and will continue to expand the possibilities of creation for all of you over the coming months. With a strong focus on core performance, amazing productivity enhancements so that you can build sophisticated experiences, more advanced tools for data analysis and experimentation, and an increasingly powerful engine. I get excited just thinking about the potential ahead. And now, as we bring this keynote to a close, I want to take a step back from all the features that we showed and reflect. Because beyond any single tool, what really matters is the strength and dynamism of this entire community. And as I reflected on the last year, I marveled at how the Roblox ecosystem has become even more dynamic and open, where new talent and innovators have immense opportunity to break through. And we see this in our data. 28 of the top 100 experiences on our platform are new this year. And 96% of top earning avatar items were created in just the last 12 months. This is not a static platform. It's the entrepreneurial dream in action, where the right creation can shoot to the top. And our healthy ecosystem is no surprise. When you see how we all collaborate with each other at community events, on our forums, and in our AMAs. The recent community-run Inspire 2025 was a great example. It was a massive success with over 50,000 RSVPs and more than 57,000 viewers. The event featured more than 30 speakers, and its game jam produced more than 400 new experiences. On our dev forum, we've seen more than 35,000 help and feedback posts since the last RDC, and our AMAs have pulled in more than 141,000 views, with more than 150 questions answered. All of this makes it extremely clear that this is the greatest game creation community the world has ever seen. And a quick public service announcement. Right after this, we're going to have a 15-minute break. Then we're going to launch right into our safety Q&A. Afterwards, you can attend creator-led lightning talks, featuring guest speakers from TikTok and YouTube with a meet and greet afterwards. And for the next 2 days, I really encourage you to stop by some of our booths. They're staffed by Roblox engineers, product managers, and domain experts. Give us your feedback and get hands-on technical advice. And lastly, tomorrow's schedule includes a networking event and dozens of sessions on a range of topics from performance to competitive design and intellectual property. And that wraps up our creator keynote. I want to thank all of you for your time, and I want to leave you with one final thought. The tools and features we've shared today are more than just code. They're the building blocks of the future, a future you will create. We provide the platform, and you provide the passion, the creativity, and the vision. You are the architects of the next generation of play, and the future is something we will build together. Let's go build it.